It's that time for the first ever video game review in Jeff's room. Let's check it out. Today's game is Time Lord for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Let's get this going. Take one look here at the screen. Gonna hit start on the good old Super Pad and start it up. So behind me, you see we have Time Lord, and this is just an extremely frustrating game. It drives me fucking crazy, and just playing it, I just have so much to say about it, and I figured why not give it a review since I have so much just frustration, and there's a lot going on with this game. So let's dive right in and take a look here. I'll go ahead and hit start. So let's take a look at the instructions that this game gives us. So this is the MB Time Travel Research Center. Your mission is to capture 5 orbs in each time zone and eliminate alien forms changing Earth's history. Good luck, Time Lord. First thing first, this is Time Lord. Milton Bradley created it. Milton Bradley is better known for board games and that kind of thing, like Monopoly, Connect 4. They're not really, they don't really do the whole like video game thing. So it's definitely kind of strange to see them tackle this format. But then again, the Nintendo Entertainment System was so big in the 80s that by the time the 90s rolled around, which this came out, I believe, 1990, everyone was trying to jump on the bandwagon and produce games and put out stuff just to make money. So this is definitely one of the later games, I'd say, at least the middle ground, because by the early 90s was when Sega Genesis was really starting to pick up speed, and then Super Nintendo would be released not too long after, and then the PlayStation 1 in like 94. So it's pretty crazy to just when you look back to see how nuts from like 1989 to like 1994 was. Just those like 5 years, there was a lot of gaming stuff going on. So let's go ahead and take a little look here and watch some game footage. I will say the music is fucking fantastic. It's a little hard playing with one hand, so I'll do what I can. It's going to be a little tough. But that's the problem with being the only person, you know, filming this sort of thing. Actually, that kind of works out. That's not too bad. Sometimes you got to improvise during these things, but. I will say though, check this out. That's some awesome fucking transformation right there. So now up next is the Castle Harmon, and now we're in England, and it's 1250 AD. One thing I forgot to point out from the last level is that this is Time Lord, so it's a time traveling game. There's actually quite a lot going on. If you take a look down here in the left-hand corner, it shows a little hand. So you can pick up things like swords, and then in other time eras you can pick up like pistols, and you can pick up like guns and stuff. Over here is the enemy bar, but that doesn't really come into effect until you fight a boss. Here you have a time, and apparently it's constantly changing, which means time is running out, and you have until the year 3000 in order to beat all 5 levels. But the first one doesn't really count because it was more of a practice level, and you saw how short that was and how easy that was. And then when you dive into this level, it's like hard as fuck. And I'll try my best to show you some of the more cryptic stuff, because I'm always talking about fucking cryptic Nintendo shit. And this game has a lot of stuff in this game that's really hard to find. You gotta find all 5 orbs, but they're not easy. You gotta do weird things. Sometimes you gotta hit both A and B. I mean, what 10-year-old or 9-year-old or whatever is gonna know to fucking hit certain buttons or look for particular things in this game? And it can be very fucking frustrating when you're playing it for the first time, because it literally is a trial and error game. And I'm all about pick up and play, like pick and play, like that's how you want it to be. And unfortunately, like, this is one of those games that requires you to play it over and over and over and over. And unfortunately, it gets to the point where you just don't want to play it anymore, because you're dying, you're running out of lives. The jumping is fucking atrocious. The controls are fucking atrocious. The movement's really stiff. I mean, I thought Bad Dudes was bad, and this is even worse. So let's go ahead and take a little look, and you'll get a little bit more of an idea of what I'm talking about.
See how bad that jumping is? I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. And I don't understand why he jumps like an asshole. Like, look at that. He's like using both, I don't know, he looks weird. And this is what he looks like when he jumps with both legs. So here I am collecting fucking mushrooms, because that's what you want to do in a Nintendo game. Finally, there's the orb. So, as you can tell. And then you come over here, and you jump up and you realize that there's an orb there. And you actually have to use both of the buttons to fucking get to it. Oh my god. Check out that awesome jumping. Ugh. Nope. And then here come the little people. I like the way you punch people off the screen though. It's like, fuck that asshole. I will say I do like that. You get the fucking punching. Here come the fucking pigs with bowling balls. Finally get a power up. You're moving. Oh! Jump too soon. I like how you punch forward, but you hit people behind you. Now here's an inventory. So I just got the sword. So you can hit select and put the sword away. For what reason, I don't know why. So I mean, it's so easy to get hit. The villains respawn way too fucking quickly. The bosses are way too fucking hard. The jumping is atrocious. The music, however, is really good. And it looks really good, too. I mean, for a 1990s Nintendo game, I would expect this to be good. Sometimes there's an orb right over here, but it's not here because it changes. Usually the 4th orb will change depending on how many times you do the level. So sometimes it'll be right here, and you have to wait for it to come down to you. Or you have to come down here and jump on these things. How would you know to backtrack? Because you could drop down here and start walking to the left and start playing the rest of the level. How would you even know to fucking come back here? This is what I mean. Like, it's just stupid, cryptic Nintendo shit that drives you fucking crazy. So, as you move on through, the blue guys you can get out of the way. Although I didn't get out of that one. So, I think all in all I'm going to probably end the game footage there, because you kind of got an idea of it. But let me throw on some background music. You know, it's always nice to have a little music on in the background while you're talking. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's an interesting game. It's an interesting idea. I love the cover of it. But for the most part, it drives me fucking crazy. The storyline of the game is quite interesting, but I'm only able to make it to the 3rd level boss. After that, I just can't seem to be able to make it beyond the 3rd level boss. And I've looked up online, and most people seem to get stuck there. So just trying to see whatever else I wanted to say about the game. I mean, the effects are pretty cool, but I mean, it's just way too fucking hard.
And for Milton Bradley game, I would expect it to be a lot more playable, to be a little bit more user-friendly, because their board games are fairly easy to get into. Some might be a little complicated, and some might be a little more, maybe have a lot more rules and have a lot more going on. But for the most part, you know, it's one of their early attempts, but they also went on to make some other games, which I own, some of other Milton Bradley video games. So maybe I'll do a whole list of them. But hopefully you enjoyed this review. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's kind of tough to talk about the game without really being able to show you more of the cryptic hidden stuff. I mean, there's just orbs are hidden places you would never expect them to be. The bad guys are just non-stop, and they're monotonous. I mean, like, it's not like in Mario, Super Mario, where, like, when you move through, there's a decent amount of bad guys, so you kind of can work with them. Not a game that just keeps throwing them at you and keeps respawning them. And then when you backtrack, they respawn again. Like, who wants to keep killing the same bad guys over and over? That's the same problem in the Ninja Turtles game, and that's another one I'm probably going to have to get around to reviewing. So, this was probably a pretty bad review, but when you drink and do reviews, that's what happens. So hopefully you enjoyed this review, and I'm going to go ahead and end it now.